almost like Triple H creates, and I hate to give him this much credit, but he really has a good environment going on down there in NXT. And face it, guys, at OVW, it is a lot easier to motivate 250 to 500 people to cheer for your guys than it is 20,000. I understand the task, and that's basically what Triple H is doing. He's got a building that holds what 300-400 down there, I guess, if that many at NXT. And they got 10 times the setup we ever had.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the setup is pretty amazing for sure.
Yeah. Well, they have a multi-million-dollar setup, and we were set up on multi-dollars. It was the two entirely different worlds of what we had to work with. But how they can keep ruining these fucking guys when they bring them up. Bobby Roode ain't even the big deal here that he was down there. They come up here. And they just, their popularity just fucking drops like you won't believe. Roman Reigns, they still can't fucking get him over. And why are they giving us another Roman Brock match? I mean, Bobby might not be over to the level that I'm hoping that he gets to, but he is certainly far more talented than Roman Reigns. Why are they not giving the fans the match they want to see? The two MMA fighters, the two legit badasses go at it, being as this is apparently going to be Brock's last match for a while. Why are they giving the match that nobody fucking wants to see, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar again? Nobody wanted to see the first one. If there was a second one, no one wanted to see that, and I can assure you nobody wants to see fucking this one.
So a while ago, he don't have a name. It's just zeros. He says he wants to know any kind of
Fournette on here is Sprite Zero.
He asked if you have any advice. He's a sales rep. He wants to know if you have any advice for him as a sales rep.
There's always 100 no's before every yes. I learned that when I was in sales. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. Many times you'll have to throw away the sales book and actually use your personality if you have one. That's how I got through sales. Yeah. I broke just about they used to shove Zig Ziglar down my throat every fucking day to listen to how he does shit. And I'm not Zig Ziglar. The only thing that Zig Ziglar ever did for me is he got me a hotel room for free twice. Once in Asheville, North Carolina, and once in Las Vegas, Nevada, because when they didn't have the room that I had requested, I said, well, is the presidential suite available? Well, yeah, it is. I said, well, great. I know on the first-hand fact that the president will not be here tonight, and I will take that suite. And it worked both times. Christopher tried it in Atlanta, and it didn't work. But yeah, I got in 2 free presidential suites by Zig Ziglar, and that's all he ever did.
Take her at Kurt Angle stories you got?
Do I have any Kurt Angle stories?
Or Undertaker, either one.
I managed against Kurt Angle twice at Louisville Gardens when I was managing Sylvester Turkey. And Kurt was always a class act with us at OVW. Not really any stories per se, but I did have a couple of matches against him. He came to OVW one night and main evented our show, and it was a hell of a good guy every time I've ever had to deal with him. I think he did a Six Flags or 2 with us. And I was there when he was just being developed in Memphis, and they just said he was just a God-given natural and was just slated for stardom even when Memphis got a hold of
him. 00 wants to know, list the reasons that you're going to fire this sideshow.
List the reasons I'm going to what?
Fire this sideshow, as in me, I think.
Oh, we'll do that next week if I have him. I don't want to give him the reasons right in front of him. He'll find those out when there's a new co-host sitting there, and then I'll list the reasons that I had to fire him.
Our pal from Montreal wants to know, what are your thoughts of Gorgeous George, and do you think he paved the way for great heels?
Gorgeous George. Well, I don't know a lot about the original Gorgeous George other than what people have seen or Googled or found on video. Obviously never knew him. I knew Gorgeous George Jr., who was actually, I think, named George Wagner here in Louisville. And I remember that Lawler did a promo with Gorgeous George Jr. once, and this was so great because they convinced me that he was really Gorgeous George's son. Jerry Lawler says, well, why don't you come out here and tell the truth about your pappy? Why don't you tell the truth about him? He wasn't this great legendary wrestler. He wasn't a great human being. He died broken penniless with a whiskey bottle in his back pocket in an alley. That's how your daddy died. And Gorgeous George came out, I think out of the shower or whatever he'd been, lost his fucking mind. He's trying to beat the shit out of everybody, and all of a sudden he cuts a promo on how great his daddy was. And I'm thinking, God damn, that was mean of Jerry to rile him up like that. Why would you say that about his dad? Turned out George Wagner had never ever fucking met Gorgeous George day in his life. He just stole the gimmick. But he believed, and his promo was so great that I thought Gorgeous George was really his daddy. And but he wasn't. So, but that's really about all I got on Gorgeous George. But
and by the way, my current
Ali gives Gorgeous George credit for his gimmick of being flamboyant and talking shit and not giving a fuck if people hated you or not. Muhammad Ali said Gorgeous George paved the way for him to be Muhammad Ali, and he said that when he was Cassius Clay.